Hey, why has my room been turned into my niece's room? I asked. What's with that stiff posture? Why did you guys do this? Exactly. I did it with the help of my husband. But where did all my stuff go? Oh, that. I threw it all away. Sorting it out was a real pain, but I managed to get rid of everything as trash in 3 days. Why would you do something like this? We think this house doesn't need a good-for-nothing like you if we live here. You're an eyesore, so can you please leave as soon as possible? My husband has been saying how annoying you are for a while now. But if I leave, who will take care of this house? It's not that hard. Do you think you're the only one who can do it? Then, I can leave everything to you. Really? You're leaving? That would be great. Recently, having returned to my parents' house, my brother and his wife, who had asked me to take care of their niece, seemed to want me out. Fine by me. I'll leave and let them handle everything. I might as well have them pay off the house mortgage too. I am a 36-year-old ordinary office worker, currently single, living at my parents' house. I could have lived alone, but since my university and job were easily accessible from my parents' home, and as my father, Dan, and mother, Mary, did encourage me to live independently, I continued living there without any special reason. I contribute to the household finances and have a sense of responsibility to take care of myself. So I'm not completely dependent on my parents. My parents are over 65, but they still seem quite healthy. However, considering the future, my presence in the house definitely provides them with a sense of security. We all feel the same way, though it's not explicitly stated. But I do feel a bit guilty about being 36 and single, as it might be causing them worry. I have an older brother, Gabriel, who's 2 years my senior. Normally, he should be the one taking on these responsibilities. However, while I live with our parents and work as a regular employee, Gabriel moved out after getting a job, becoming a successful elite worker, and is now married. Gabriel has his own life plans, and it feels more balanced for me to continue living at home. Gabriel has also asked me to take care of our parents. Having you at home is reassuring. Please look after Dad and Mom. Well, I'm happy to be relied upon by Gabriel. I can't help feeling somewhat compelled to comply with his wishes. Ever since childhood, I've had a complex about my talented brother, Gabriel. He was good at academics and sports and always looked down on me. Look, big brother, I got B+ on this exam. Are you satisfied with B+? In such an easy exam, getting A+ is normal. Being constantly belittled, I developed a complex and felt like I could never win against Gabriel, becoming submissive to him. Even Gabriel, as talented as he was, wasn't perfect and had his flaws. Gabriel had a tendency to belittle others and behaved arrogantly both at home and outside. Despite his good grades, there's always one kid in class whose behavior annoys everyone. And that was exactly Gabriel. As a result, Gabriel had very few friends. The one thing I had over him was that I had friends, so every time he made fun of me, I'd secretly think to myself, you don't even have any friends. The reason Gabriel became arrogant wasn't just because he made fun of me, but it might also be because our father, Dan, who has a lot of pride, often gave orders around the house. Where's the newspaper? Yo, I'm sorry, I forgot to get it. I want to read the newspaper while having breakfast. How many times do I have to tell you? Sorry, I just forgot today. You don't have to be so mad. It seems Gabriel started acting superior after watching the daily interactions between Dan and Mary. However, the concept of a domineering husband only works because there's a marital relationship. Dan doesn't say anything too absurd, and Mary doesn't seem to mind it much. It must have been difficult for Gabriel to understand these things when he was young. That's why I couldn't believe it when I heard Gabriel was getting married. I thought his character would change with social experience, but it seems it didn't. Welcome back, Gabriel. Nice to meet you. You must be Jennifer, right? Nice to meet you. Just like I heard, you have a very ordinary face. You seem to have a stupid aura all over you. Exactly, right. Making people annoyed is this guy's special skill. But let's not get annoyed since it's our first meeting. When Gabriel's wife, Jennifer, made fun of me at our first meeting, I was more surprised than angry. And I was just upset that Gabriel didn't stop her. Birds of a feather, perhaps. Probably, Gabriel had talked about me to Jennifer beforehand. But still, there was no need for Jennifer to act the same way. I'm worried about our future relationship, but since I won't be living with my brother and his wife, I should be able to manage. My brother's family only comes back home during Easter or Christmas. Lately, their visits have been less frequent, especially since their daughter, Ashley, was born almost 4 years ago, without visiting or much contact. So, I've been living peacefully without worrying much about my brother's family. But my peaceful days suddenly ended. One day, Gabriel came to our parents' house with Jennifer and Ashley. Wow, the house looks really clean. It feels different from when we came for our marriage introduction. Dad, as expected. Unlike someone stupid, you've been doing your job properly. Our family home was getting old, so we did a full renovation last year. Gabriel could have just praised the renovation, but he always adds unnecessary snide remarks. Watching from outside, I saw the couple enter the house and start opening doors to various rooms. Then, a shocking statement was made about one of the rooms on the second floor. This used to be my room, right? Now it's just a storage room. Clean it up. I'm going to use it. Clean it up. Are you planning to live here? Yes. Do I need to explain everything to you? Why suddenly decide this? I'm almost 40, and it's hard to step up in my current company. So, I've decided to change jobs, and if I'm changing, I thought I'd move back home. Not just for me, but I thought it'd make Dad and Mom happy too. The thought of living with my brother and his wife started to make me anxious. Hoping for some resistance and a change, I asked Gabriel a question. Have Dad and Mom agreed to this? I'll convince them. Anyway, I've decided to live here, so you can start cleaning. Oh, but this room will be too cramped for 3 people. Clean up the storage room next door too. How am I supposed to clear out 2 rooms worth of stuff? Move it to other rooms, dispose of unnecessary items, or set up a storage shed in the garden. There are plenty of ways to do it. Use your brain more. That's why you're always just average. Gabriel's demeaning words dampened my mood. The thought of facing my brother and his wife every day was even more disheartening. And with Jennifer there too, the stress might double. I lacked confidence in how to overcome this situation. However, my concerns were ignored, and a month later, I ended up living with my brother and his family. As I cleaned the rooms, their belongings steadily filled the space. They never thanked me for cleaning. Instead, they had more demands. Can you watch Ashley for us while we sort out our stuff? It might take some time, so please look after her for a while. Taking care of Ashley wasn't a problem for me. In fact, playing with my cute niece Ashley was enjoyable. Weeks passed, and even though the sorting was finished, I was still taking care of Ashley. The bus will be here soon, so let's get ready quickly. Mornings were hectic for me as I also had to leave for work. Spending time with Ashley was fun, but gradually, I became anxious as my brother and his wife almost stopped caring for Ashley. After I left for work and Ashley went to kindergarten, they would finally get out of bed and eat the breakfast Mom, Mary, made. Even after I returned from work, my days are busy taking care of Ashley. How's your day? Did you work overtime today? Ashley has been waiting, so can you take a bath with her quickly? Why don't you or Gabriel take a bath with her if you're in such a hurry? Ashley wants to bathe with her aunt, right? Since you're back, go take a bath and get cleaned up. I wanted to bathe at my own leisure. Being dictated by others about my bathing time was frustrating. But seeing Ashley running towards me with a smile, I couldn't help but prioritize her bath. Let's take a bath together then. I held Ashley's hand and dragged my tired feet to the bathroom. Even after the bath, my responsibilities for Ashley continued. It became my duty to put Ashley to bed. Spending 2 to 3 hours after returning home before I could finally eat dinner. With work and taking care of Ashley, my physical strength was nearing its limit. I couldn't eat properly, and my health was deteriorating. I hadn't realized until now that almost all my time outside of work was spent caring for Ashley. Maybe Gabriel, having always belittled me, saw me as an easy target to use. Jennifer seemed to be exploiting that too. While I cared for Ashley, my brother and his wife would relax in the living room without any guilt. I often watched them from the dining table while eating dinner. Initially, I wanted to help them since they had just moved in, and my parents didn't intervene. However, weeks later, my parents and I decided that this couldn't continue, and resolved to advise my brother and his wife. It's been several weeks since you started living together. You should take care of Ashley yourselves. I'm mentally exhausted from job hunting. Can't you help us a little more? I'm also planning to find a part-time job soon. It's tough adjusting to a new environment, so I need your support. Every day when I returned from work, they were always relaxing in the living room, which made me doubt whether they were really struggling. I couldn't believe my brother and his wife's words. Family is supposed to help each other, right? I'll take responsibility for Dad and Mom eventually, so I want your help with this for now. Although I had doubts and dissatisfaction with my brother and his wife's current situation, Gabriel's words did make sense. My parents and I, while harboring unease in our hearts, decided it was wiser to avoid conflict and step back for the time being. A year passed, Gabriel got a new job, and Jennifer started working part-time. But they never took care of Ashley. We need to get used to our new jobs. Families should help each other, right? My brother and his wife were repeating the same excuses as a year ago, leaving the care of Ashley entirely to me. They seem to be using the same excuses with our parents too. I will take responsibility for Dad and Mom eventually. Gabriel's character aside, he is extremely capable. Therefore, my parents' future seemed secure. I used to believe that, but now I only feel worried. In our family home, my parents, I, and my brother's family live together. But my brother's family doesn't contribute to household expenses like utilities or food at all. My parents had asked them several times to cooperate. Is it that expensive? Instead, I think we should save as much as we can for the future of Dad and Mom. My parents accepted Gabriel's excuse-laden words. But I grew increasingly anxious about my brother and his wife. This might stem from their continuous belittling of me. Hi Jennifer, how's your day today? Did you work late again today? Can't you come home a bit earlier? Ashley's bath time gets delayed, doesn't it? I can help it if work takes longer than expected. You're late because you're incompetent, right? If you worked more efficiently, you could come home earlier. You're right. I should try harder. I'll make an effort starting tomorrow. That's right. Work hard. Incompetent. The sarcasm and demeaning words from my brother and his wife lowered my self-esteem, leaving me feeling like I had no room to argue. The only reason I could endure this far was because of Ashley's presence. But I wondered if there came a time when I couldn't take care of Ashley anymore. Would my brother and his wife truly care for her? Just the thought made me anxious. However, reaching my limit with their belittling attitude, I realized I couldn't tolerate it any longer. One afternoon, when I returned from a 3-day business trip and entered my room, I was met with a scene like I had wandered into a different world. The room was filled with children's clothes and toys. My room has turned into my niece's room. Initially confused, I knew I wasn't so foolish as to mistake my own room in my own house. Standing there, dazed, I heard laughter from behind. What's with that stiff posture? I thought you'd be more surprised. As I turned around, Jennifer was standing there. Did you do this, Jennifer? That's right. I did it with the help of my husband. But where did all my stuff go? I got rid of it all. It was really hard to sort everything, but somehow I managed to throw it all away as trash in 3 days. Usually, I would remain silent and let things happen. But this incident made me go beyond anger to despair. I couldn't contain my emotions and raised my voice. Why would you do something like this? Ashley will soon be a schoolgirl, right? So, I thought it would be better to prepare a room for her. That's not what I'm asking. Why would you do such a thing without permission? If we live here, a good-for-nothing like you isn't needed in this house. You're an eyesore, so can you leave as soon as possible? My husband has been saying you're annoying for a while now. But if I leave, who will take responsibility for Ashley and this house? It's not that hard. Do you think you're the only one who can do it? We're just asking for your help because you live here. You should be grateful that I'm giving you a role, so I can leave everything to you. Really? You're leaving? That would be great. My anger didn't subside, but I realized this unreasonable argument was futile and ignored Jennifer. Heading to my parents, Mom, Dad, Gabriel, and Jennifer threw away all my stuff. What? Really? My room and my brother's family's room were on the second floor. And my parents mostly spent their time on the first floor, rarely going upstairs. It seems my brother and his wife lied to my parents, saying they changed one of their 2 rooms into Ashley's room. That's unbelievable. I didn't know it had come to this. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize, Dad. But I can't stand Gabriel and his wife anymore. Yes, Gabriel and his family are doing whatever they want. If you understand how I feel, there's something I'd like your help with. With my parents' support, I plan to execute a strategy to kick my brother and his family out and regain our peaceful life. The day my room's contents were thrown away, I left the house. There was almost nothing left in my room, just a bank book and a few clothes. So I was able to pack what I needed in 30 minutes. After leaving home, I lived in a hotel for a while and eventually rented a small apartment to start a new life. I never expected to start living alone for the first time under these circumstances. Life can go as planned or take unexpected turns. But from now on, it's going to go my way. About a month after I left home, as expected, Gabriel called me. "Hey, what's this? I don't know anything about it." "What are you talking about? You have to explain the situation, or I won't understand." "I didn't know you were paying for this house's mortgage." When my brother and his family unexpectedly returned home, we had fully renovated it, thinking I would live there for a long time. The renovation cost $130,000. And I had been paying the mortgage after receiving a down payment from my parents. They still over $100,000 remaining. Thinking it's only fair for my brother and his family to start paying since they said they'd manage the house, I stopped the monthly mortgage withdrawals and had Dan tell Gabriel to take over the payments. However, I knew it wouldn't be easy for them. "You were paying $850 per month for the mortgage. Is that true?" "Yes, I'm just an ordinary office worker, but I've been working since before I turned 40. So my salary is decent, and being single, I don't spend much. But it seems like it will be tough for you to make payments, right? I heard your salary decreased significantly after your job change." "Well, how do you know that?" "Gabriel may have his personality flaws, but his abilities are certainly exceptional." "I think so too, and it's not a mistake. That's why I was curious why he abruptly quit his long-term job at a major corporation and returned home." Additionally, Gabriel was secretive about his new job and didn't contribute to household finances, which raised my suspicions. So, I decided to do a little investigation in my brother's room. Of course, I didn't enter just to snoop around. I had to get something for Ashley when my brother and his wife were out, and I ended up entering their room. While searching, I accidentally found documents related to Gabriel's job change. Yes, it was accidental. Purely coincidental. Curious about the information, I researched Gabriel's new employer. From that research, I learned he might be working for a small company, earning the same, or maybe even less than a fresh graduate. Wondering why Gabriel would choose a job with a lower salary, I called his previous workplace, pretending to be unaware of his situation. "Hello, I think my brother works there. Can I speak to him, please?" "Please hold on for a moment." I waited while the phone was on hold, growing anxious. It felt like over 10 minutes before the call resumed. "Sorry for the wait. He no longer works with us." "Oh, do you know why he left?" "I can't disclose that. Please ask him directly." This response was expected from the company, but the lengthy hold made me wonder if Gabriel had caused some trouble. However, the specifics were still unknown to me. So, I tried to get more information from Gabriel with leading questions. Did you get fired from your last job? I called and asked. Did you really call? You're joking. I did. The person I spoke to was, I think it's from HR or General Affairs, named Mr. Hoffman. Mr. Hoffman was the name of the person who answered my call. I definitely called the company, but I didn't know the reason for his resignation. However, Gabriel thought I had found out the truth over the phone and ended up telling me everything. They didn't mention any mistakes, so what did you do? Did you make a big mistake that led to your dismissal? It's not my fault. A client took issue with my attitude, leading to a contract termination. I mean, you cancels a contract just over attitude. After the same thing happened with 2 or 3 clients, and personal complaints were filed against me. I was no longer entrusted with important tasks and was left with simple clerical work. So, I decided to resign and find a company that would appreciate my abilities. But your job hunt didn't go as planned, and the financial strain led you to move back home. The problem is that no one appreciates me properly. I believe I've been fairly evaluated in my job and job hunting. However, Gabriel's self-centered attitude hasn't changed since he became a working adult. I suspect Gabriel probably offended his clients with his dismissive behavior and made them angry. It seemed like he wasn't even aware that his words were infuriating others, although his overall abilities were high. It was clear to me that he lacked crucial communication skills. So, your income dropped drastically, and with your married life, you need money. So you want me to come back and start paying the mortgage again? That's right. Also, why did you keep it secret that you were paying the mortgage? It wasn't a secret, you just never asked. You both thought Dad was paying it with his retirement fund or savings, right? But even if we didn't ask, you should have told us. I know Dad has his pride. If I had said I was paying the mortgage, it could have hurt his pride. So, we agreed that I would only talk about it if asked. That was the agreement between me, Dad, and Mom. So, we were the only ones who didn't know. Yes, that's right. You talk about family helping each other, but in reality, Gabriel, you came back because you were struggling and had no intention of contributing. If you really wanted to cooperate as a family, you should have tried to understand more about the family and the house. Faced with this undeniable truth, Gabriel, who had always been mocking, changed his attitude and apologized. I'm really sorry for everything I said before. You were needed in this house. Please, I'm begging you, come back. Jennifer said it wouldn't matter if I wasn't in the house. I can't pay back a debt of over $100,000 in my current situation. Can you at least extend the mortgage repayment period and reduce the monthly payments? Why should I do that? If the mortgage isn't paid, won't the house be seized? That would reflect badly on your name, too. Wouldn't it be better to avoid that? I'm single, and I'll make sure my workplace knows about it, so it should be fine. It was a desperate argument to counter. To be honest, my heart was racing. I wanted to avoid having a foreclosure on my record, but I didn't let Gabriel sense my concern. This negotiation was a necessary gamble to get Gabriel out of the house. If the house is lost, Dad and Mom will be left homeless. Don't worry, I'll arrange a place for them to live, and we'll live together again. Gabriel, realizing my determination, had nothing more to say. I felt like I had won this negotiation, but I couldn't show my joy just yet. So, I silently celebrated in my heart while maintaining my composure. Are you sure it's okay for you to stay in the house and risk losing our family home? I understand, I'll leave the house, but what should I do now? First, you need to rebuild your life. For now, Dad and Mom said they will take care of Ashley. I didn't feel sorry for Gabriel and Jennifer, even if they ended up homeless. My only concern was to ensure Ashley didn't suffer in this situation. That's why I had previously arranged for Ashley to stay with my parents for a while. I'll talk it over with Jennifer. His voice was frail as he ended the call. Gabriel, who always ridiculed me, full of self-satisfaction and confidence, was nowhere to be seen at that moment. The consequences of his excellent but reckless actions had finally caught up with him. Jennifer, too, who had been riding high as an accomplice, now needed to reflect on the past and walk a new path in life. Afterward, Gabriel and Jennifer, unable to pay the mortgage, left the family home. Consequently, Ashley will live with us at the family home until they can rebuild their lives. I am hoping that this will lead to them reflecting on their past actions and eventually taking Ashley back, thus resolving the issue. However, being forced to leave the family home worsened Gabriel and Jennifer's relationship, ultimately leading to their divorce. Ashley was taken in by Gabriel. Yet, Gabriel's work situation is still far from ideal, though showing some signs of remorse. Gabriel has not changed his self-centered ways since childhood and continues to display a condescending attitude at work. As a result, he struggles to earn recognition in his new job, and Ashley continues to live with us. Gabriel and Jennifer have now started new lives as singles, resulting in Ashley living separately from both of them. After they left, I immediately moved back into the family home. My parents are delighted that Ashley will soon be starting elementary school and are busy preparing things like her school backpack. I've returned to the same peaceful life as before, and I'm genuinely happy to have the adorable Ashley as part of our family.